afternoon and welcome to Charlottesville right now. Hope you're enjoying your ride home by now, listening to WINA 1070 and the new 98.9 FM. I'm Wendy Edwards, sitting in for Les Sinclair on Charlottesville right now today. And we just spoke with Terry Atwater of Virginia Blood Services and talked about the necessity for blood, especially at these holidays when folks are going to be traveling and there's a bigger chance, a greater chance for accidents. Let's switch over to the other fluid that may be running through your veins, that which is coffee, and find out what's really in those holiday coffee drinks. Warren Honeycutt joins us to talk about that. Good afternoon, Warren.
Good afternoon. This is Wendy, correct?
I'm Wendy.
Okay. Great to be with you, Wendy. Thank you.
It's great to be with you as well. I'm actually a little worried about even asking you this, Warren, because I don't want you to change what I drink. Okay, I have holiday favorite drinks, and I don't know that I want to know what's in them necessarily.
Yeah, this goes back, Wendy, to like the 1960s and 70s before any labels were on the food. We seemed to enjoy them the more when we didn't know what we were eating. And drinking.
Exactly. All right, but go ahead. Tell us all the dirty words you've got to say.
Well, as it relates to especially the chains and the coffee chains, and I don't guess we'll mention any names here.
Probably don't need to.
Not to disparage anybody, but we all know who they are.
Yeah, it rhymes with char clucks.
Everything in them, for the most part, Wendy, I must say, is not good for you from a health standpoint, but more importantly from a waistline standpoint.
Now, Warren, is this because they're adding sugar in the form of like syrups that they pump out of these bottles now?
Absolutely, Wendy. The biggest culprit in any and all the drinks is sugar. And the second is whole milk, but honestly the fat is not nearly, number one, as high in calories as all of the sugar, which is a simple carbohydrate. And here's the problem with that.
What's that?
I don't want to mess you up on your drink, but here's the problem with it. If we don't immediately use those calories, they go straight into the bloodstream and turn to fat.
Well, and when you consider the time in which we go and get these very special holiday coffee drinks, it's usually either on our way to work or maybe when we're out and about shopping, but usually it's when we're going right back in the car and we've got a commute.
Yep, that's true.
So that's not really burning much energy, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, unless you're going to the gym, it's not going to help a lot just to sit at a red light and hope for the best. All
right. So what's the bad news? I mean, do you happen to know how many calories we have to burn in order to get rid of that?
Well, on an average, the drinks, and this is an average, but they'll go anywhere from a low of 350 calories to somewhere around 800 calories. And that's in a 16-ounce serving, which most of the people that, get the holiday drinks, that's what they go for.
Yeah.
One simple way to enjoy the taste but cut the calories is order a smaller drink. Now, that sounds obvious, but honestly, the first 2 or 3 sips of the drink is where we get the most pleasure anyway. Same thing with the dessert. The most pleasure, psychologically, is when you take the first 2 or 3 bites. And just think about that, and say the last time you had dessert and you ate a piece of, let's say, pecan pie, and then you had to have another piece. Which piece did you enjoy the most?
Well, obviously the first one, but you know what, Warren? I know I don't speak for just myself when I say that if I happen to overindulge in the form of like serving myself, like let's say I took way too much, or I ordered a drink that's too large or whatever, I'm going to finish it because if I don't finish it, I feel guilty for not finishing it. Now, my mom never threatened kids, going starving in other nations or anything like that. She never did anything like, oh, you won't be able to have dessert if you don't finish dinner. We never had any of that kind of threat, but I still feel that guilt. Yeah.
Well, we have to look at and decide which guilt we want to feel the most or the least, I suppose, Wendy. But if you take the smaller drink, you can still finish the whole drink.
Well, you're making sense to me now that I'm not standing in front of the barista and ordering my drink.
Well, that's just one way. Another way is if you want to, and most of the people do have skim milk or low-fat milk rather than the whole milk, and you're going to save some fat calories there. Primarily, though, and
you want to save those sugar calories more than anything, right?
Yes. I started saying most of the calories come from the added sugar in the form of the syrups. Most of the chains have sugar-free alternatives and choices. And all you have to do to get away from that sugar to a great degree is choose to substitute the lower sugar or no sugar. And if you go to a place that's your favorite and they just don't have that, all it takes is a little pre-planning, Wendy, to, bring your own in a little container.
We're speaking, Warren Honeycutt on a new study about what's really in your holiday coffee drinks. And although we don't probably want to know, I think it's important that we do find out and we're a little more conscious. And like Warren says, get the smaller portion instead of getting the big portion, because those first couple of sips are really all that matters to us. Warren, I tend to stay away from changing the drink to sugarless or whatever you mentioned, sugar-free. And the only reason for that is because if I'm going to have this kind of drink, it's because I want to indulge. It's not because, you know what I mean? I don't normally buy those drinks. Like, they're not regular for me to go and pick up before I go to work every day. So if I get something special like that, I want the sugar.
I understand. And if that's the case and your choice is such that you do want that drink and you don't want to substitute any of that, then just do everything you can to counter the balance, and that's activity. Because if the calories go in, they're going to turn to fat if they're not used. Or determine, okay, it's worth that half a pound that I'm going to gain, over the, say, Christmas holiday. And go ahead and enjoy and forgive yourself and make a choice to make a change, not necessarily January 1st. I'm not a big New Year's resolutions person because we make choices every day.
Right.
But enjoy it, relax, and especially around this time of year, it's really, really difficult to be real strict. I am friends with some people that are, and I personally am, but that's just a choice.
Yeah, not everybody can pull that off. All right, before I let you go, I've got one more question for you, Warren, and that is it true that if you indulge in these sugary coffee, holiday-type drinks or teas or what have you, is it true that you're more likely to go ahead and get that brownie or cookie or donut or whatever else they're selling?
It absolutely is true. And the other downside of that is once you get that sugar into your system, in an hour to an hour and a half, you will start crying for more sugar. So just beware that, in an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're going to get that sugar low. You get the sugar high, and that's the insulin being dumped into the bloodstream.
Yeah.
And then to bring that down to a lower level, you get it below where it should be, and the blood sugar then makes you feel lethargic and tired, and so you want another shot.
Yeah, this is all stuff we kind of know, but we don't do anything about. Every year we're like, oh, yeah, we really should do that. And then, we just follow our old ways. Warren, do you have a website where we can follow you and maybe reach out to you for help?
Getlean.guru, Guru.
Getlean.guru.
There's some holiday recipes on there. There's a newsletter that I put out every week or so that's got tons and tons of good grief videos and radio interviews and articles that I've written for national magazines, and some good stuff there.
All right, so you'll share our interview today on your website, Getlean.guru.
And Wendy, thank you so much for the invitation. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
You do the same.
Beautiful
Thank you.
2016.
Yeah, you too, and stay away from those sugar drinks, okay?
Thank you. Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.